From Los Angeles, it's the Life Changes Show.
Look at the bright lights. Look at the bright lights.
With tonight's guest, writer and transformational speaker, Rebecca Whitman.
Look at the night sky. Look at the night sky.
And music guest, Teresa James and Rhythm Tramps. I am Mark Lejeune, and now your host, the MC, the Master of Change, Filippo Voltaggio.
I've been so looking forward to this show today. There are so many exciting aspects of this show. First of all, we've titled it Happy is the New Rich. What a great conversation. I think I'm so grateful that our guest inspired that and that we're going to talk about that, even though her book is called How to Make a Six-Figure Income Working Part-Time. And you'll see how these two titles come together when we finally get into the meat of our conversation with Rebecca in a little bit. But also because we all found out, including our musical guests, on Friday, just a couple days ago, that our musical guests have been nominated for a Grammy. And so this is the very first radio show that they are doing as a band together since they all found out that they were nominated. As a matter of fact, we're going to get to hear songs directly from the album. And so it's interesting since there's also a little bit of a musical theme going on. When I was thinking about the monologue today, I was thinking about something that I learned from when I switched from the corporate world to becoming a full-time singer. I started working with some people and I started hearing things in different ways that I didn't expect to hear. So here's, for example, what I want to share is that I remember working with this musical director who kept asking me in this order, who's on the band? When I would ask him, I've got this gig, blah, 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 he'd say, who's on the band? And I'd tell him who was on the band. And then later on in the conversation, he said, okay, how much does the gig pay? And it was always who's on the band and then how much would the gig pay? It wasn't the other way around. And it wouldn't have been my first question, who's on this team. It would be, I remember we were asked to do things in the corporate world and we just did them. And there weren't any questions really. And then if there were questions, it's like, oh, am I going to get paid extra? That's kind of the thing. Our guest is nodding her head. Yes. And so anyway, then one day I heard something I thought I'd never hear in a million years. But so I was talking to him about, hey, there's this gig coming up, blah, 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 blah. And he said, who's on the band? And I told him who's on the band. And of course, I expected the next question to be, how much does the gig pay? Instead, he said, yeah, I don't want to do it. And I said, wait a minute, what do you mean you don't want to do it? You don't even know. He says, I know enough. I know who's on the band. I don't want to do it. And I said, but what do you mean? He said, it's not going to be fun. And I'm like, what does that have to do with anything? You're my musical director. I'm paying you. Don't you want to know how much you're getting paid? He said, it doesn't matter how much you're going to pay me. It's not going to be fun. And I thought, that's weird. That's wrong. I'm paying you. You're my musical director. It's not going to be fun. Who turns something down because it's not going to be fun? Well, hello. More of us should be turning stuff down because it's not fun, no matter what we're getting paid. So I'm so glad we're having this conversation. I'm calling myself out on that. I had something to learn. So happy is the new rich. And you'll see more why when we talk to our guest, Rebecca Whitman. And a little later on, live music here by Teresa Grammy nominated Teresa James and the Rhythm Tramps, live on the Life Changes Show right after this.
You are listening to the Life Changes Show, recorded live from Studio NoHo. You can hear tonight's show and all our past shows, which include luminaries such as Marianne Williamson, Gary Anthony Williams, Sierra Campbell, and Ellen Roderick Jones on our archive page at lifechangesshow.com. You can visit us online via Twitter at Life Changes Show and Facebook at The Life Changes Show.
Okay, I am Filippo Voltaggio sitting here with Mark Lejour.
What a great story. and what a great title for the show. And what you know my background. Some of our listeners know my background, and that was my healing mantra when I went from rich to not so rich. I realized that I wasn't happy when I was rich anyway, and getting to happiness was where the real wealth is. So I can't wait for this conversation.
And you've come up with many similar kinds of titles or slogans where you've said, what's your joy, or find your joy, and different words like that. So
absolutely.
So yes, thank you. Well, she has written this book, How to Make a Six-Figure Income Working Part-Time. I should probably say in your yoga pants. And no, anyway, she'll tell us all that. She's a writer. She's a transformational public speaker, and she's also an actress. I don't know if we're going to get a chance to chat about that. Rebecca Whitman, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Filippo and Mark. It's so great to be here tonight.
By the way, did you know happy is the new rich?
I know, it's in the book. I really believe that. You can have all the money in the world, but if you're unhappy or unhealthy, what is it really worth?
Yeah. It's funny. The first question I want to ask you, I want to dig in. There's so many things I want to ask you, but I never asked this question. But with you, why did you write the book?
Well, that's a great question. I was really close to my dad, and he was 91 years old, literally on his deathbed. And he said, Rebecca, can you just write something? You have such an interesting worldview. I don't care if it's a magazine article, a blog, an essay, just write something and get it published. And I said, okay, I'm going to honor that wish. And then I was talking to my financial planner. And yes, I do believe in hiring experts in all these areas that I talk about in the book. And I was like, I just don't know what to write about, but I want to honor my dad's dying wish. And he's like, well, you always come to these financial planning meetings in like workout clothes and yoga pants. I think a lot of people want to know how you make six figures and you still have time to exercise and have this fun life. So I said, aha, that's going to be the title of the book, How to Make a Six-Figure Income Working Part-Time.
Oh, okay. Well, you you work hard. I don't want to give people the wrong impression because you do a lot of things.
I do.
But
yes.
You also are a big, also do the things that you like doing.
Right.
Person.
Right.
So that's like working out.
Yes, like working out. I actually plan my day around my workout.
That's great. That's really okay.
Yeah.
I've got so much to learn. Please tell me more.
Well, as I said, happy is the new rich and health is the new wealth. So I believe that health should be our number one priority, and being healthy involves a lot of things, nutrition, drinking a lot of water, keeping your mind stress-free through meditation, and of course, exercising. So I make sure that I find time to exercise and meditate every single day. That's my priority.
Okay, so I love the fact you went to Princeton, and then you graduated from college, and you went to New York, and you said, "I'm here, hire me."
Right.
And they did not exactly like that.
They did not. So I wanted to be in the entertainment industry. So I went to all these networks. And I'm like, okay, I have an Ivy League degree. I'm ready for my corner office. And they're like, well, you can start in the mailroom or you can start as an intern. And I was like, for how much money? And they're like, for nothing. And I was just like shocked and appalled. So what happened was I was kind of a fatalist at the time. I believe everything happened for a reason, to like stubbing my toe. And I was reading
Well, fatalist like in a bad way.
And this wasn't too much. Like I like went too far with like preordained destiny concept. And I saw an ad in the Village Voice and it said, circle me. And it said, you can make $5,000 a month selling water filtration, nutrition, and weight loss products and retire in 5 years.
Okay.
And I was like, wow, I'm going to look into this because the ad said, circle me. So lo and behold, I was in a network marketing company for almost 6 years, and I did not retire a self-made millionaire. The company went under, but they required us to go to trainings every single month with these self-made millionaires. And through their teachings, I learned a lot of the concepts that I share in the book.
So not only did they did New York not just come out and hire you? You made the best of it, and you thought you were doing something, but in essence, you were getting an education that you didn't know you were getting.
Yes, I was getting an education in sales and entrepreneurship.
Which you then used to work with other companies and a lot of other people, and you've shared what you've learned.
Exactly.
And that's in the book. But what's in the book? I read the book actually, and I enjoyed it very much. I thought it was like a how to live life better.
Right.
And I thought, oh, okay, oh, interesting, how to make six-figure income working part-time, but the financial part didn't come in until the end. It was the last chapter.
Yes.
I thought that was very interesting.
So it's really a book on work-life balance, and I divide life into 7 areas, and it's about getting these areas in balance, and the financial part is the last area. So it's kind of like building a house. So your foundation is your spiritual life, then your physical fitness, and your emotional life, romantic, mental, social, and once all those areas are solid, then it's easier to manifest money working part-time.
So this to me reminds me of like the pyramid that we've seen, like that you first you do this and then you do this and it seems like you've turned the pyramid upside down.
I have. It's very counterintuitive because everyone's like, well, I'm going to date when I get in shape, or I'm going to start, my own business when I start making a fortune, in my day-to-day job and have extra money to invest. But I'm saying do everything but the finances, and then the finances are just going to flow in. I mean, you still have to work hard. And I talk about time management. You have your focus days where you're really hustling with your nose to the grindstone. And I talk about your play days. So it's not like, oh, you just sit back and watch TV and the money rolls in. I mean, there are definitely actions to take, but it's about getting your life in order in all 7 areas and have them all running at peak efficiency.
Talking about play days, you actually say something about you thought time with people was relaxing or something. I don't know, but what you were actually doing was, how do you know what I'm getting at? No. So what you were actually doing was during that time, you actually were meeting people that you didn't know that then you would end up using. I didn't write the book. I don't remember exactly. You know what I'm saying? It was, do you know which part I'm talking about?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. You have to explain a little bit more. I mean, I believe that the universe, God, whatever you want to call source is always speaking through everyone. So always be paying attention to every conversation, whether it's in line at the grocery store or something that you hear on the radio, like this show. Hello, if you're listening, this could be getting you to your next step of spiritual growth and unfoldment. So I believe in really listening to people. I don't know what part you're referring to in the book, but I know that for some people who are introverts like myself, like sometimes it's good to have a play day more quietly to myself because I get energy through being alone, whereas extroverts get more energy through being through other people. But I don't even know if I mentioned that in the book. I don't think I did.
Actually, we've already talked about some things that you haven't mentioned in the book, like the thing about your father. I thought that was amazing.
Yeah.
And thank you to him.
Yes.
Because now you've set yourself up in a really different way. You've been doing life a certain way. Like how to make the money, and you've helped other people make the money. And you're still helping people make money, not only through the book, but you work with groups and all that. And you're working with this actors group, right?
I'm not working with an actor group, but I still act as a passionate hobby. So I was just in an animated feature film with Will Forte called Lewis and the Aliens, where you can catch that on DirecTV.
Aww.
Yeah.
Lewis and the Aliens.
Lewis and the Aliens. So I play a neurotic housewife. And I'm in another movie that's currently being edited called Enter the Diamond, where I play a villain. So I'm doing it for fun.
Oh.
And yeah, if it becomes more than part-time, I would gladly take it, but I'm enjoying it.
And it's working for you. Well, when we come back, we are going to take a moment during the break and figure out what part of the book I was thinking about. And then we're going to talk to Rebecca Whitman a little more. But in the meantime, you could go to RebeccaElizabethWhitman.com. and learn more about her there. And of course, her book, How to Make a Six-Figure Income Working Part-Time. And then a little later on, live music here in the studio with you know who, Teresa James and the Rhythm Tramps, all live on the Life Changes show when we come back after this.
Hey guys, this is Michaela. So I'm here to tell you about the DNA Institute. If you haven't heard of it already, I wanted to let you in on it because it completely changed my life. A few years ago, I was 30 pounds overweight. I wanted a career, good friends, a loving family, and financial success, and I didn't have any of it, so I ate. Within 6 months, the DNA Institute treatment not only helped me lose the 30 pounds, it also rebalanced my hormones, healed my metabolic and digestive system, and made my higher functioning brain so loud it became impossible to overeat when I was full. Don't we all want that? So many of my friends and family turned to the Institute after they saw my success. All of them lost their desired weight, ranging from 8 to 60 pounds. I found this to be so different than anything I'd ever tried before, and it was easier than anything I'd ever done. It's not a supplement or a diet pill. It's a genuine, doctor-prescribed, custom medical treatment made just for you. It doesn't matter what your situation is or how much weight you have to lose. I believe the Institute will get you to your goal. My experience is that this is more than just a weight loss system. It's a biohack to a better way of looking, feeling, and living. When I started, I had never heard of the DNA Institute, but the fact that they've been in Beverly Hills since 1982 gave me a real peace of mind. Now that you've heard of them, click on the DNA ad at lifechangeshow.com and get your customized formula started today. Change your life like I changed mine.
You are listening to The Life Changes Show, live from Studio NoHo on the BBS Radio Network. You can hear tonight's show and all our past shows, which include luminaries such as The Green Children, Dan Millman, Hot Rod Fuller, and Mike Marino on our archive page at lifechangesnetwork.com. You can also follow us online via Twitter at Life Changes Show and Facebook at The Life Changes Show.
And we're back. I'm Filippo sitting here with Mark and, of course, our guest, Rebecca Whitman. We're talking about how to make a six-figure income working part-time. And we figured out what I was talking about when I said something about going out and mingling with the people. And you never know what you might learn or who you might meet. And then you actually brought up even more interesting things on it. So let's talk about it. And it's perfect time to talk about it with the holidays.
So sometimes I go to events and I don't feel like going out.
Yes.
So I think of everything as time management. So I set a timer like, okay, I don't feel like going out tonight, but I can go to this party. And we have a lot of parties this season because it's a holiday season.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go to this, Christmas party just for an hour. And I'm going to talk to as many people as I can in the hour. And I even play games with myself. I'm going to get 5 numbers in the next hour. And it's more important to get numbers than to give numbers because you can give out 1 million cards, but you're powerless over if they ever call you. But if you get numbers and emails, you can, send them an email. But you never know where your next client, where your next business opportunity, where it's going to come from unless you get out and you mingle and socialize. And I talk about in the book, especially when you're in sales or in your own business, you want to become an owl. You want to be like, who do you know that I can talk to that might be able to use this good or service that I'm promoting?
Who? Yeah, we're gonna get some mileage out of that one. I like that.
So, how do you think this is? Your acting has been helped by your networking and your business, and vice versa.
Definitely,
Okay.
Almost all the parts that I've gotten have not been through an agent or a manager. It's been through going out and networking and making friends with people and connecting with them.
I love that you almost said marriage.
Whoa, was that a Freudian slip?
Right.
That's why you're the host and I'm the guest, because you pick up on things that I didn't even hear.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh, so
now I'm all blushing.
So, I love that, that your dad inspired you to write the book. At the same time, I think it's interesting that your dad, I'm sure, was part of a culture at the time that probably said to you, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you're a woman and this is how it's going to be, and you're going to get married, and who knows, maybe you should even be marrying rich. And that would have been a whole different book. Talk to me about that. How close am I?
Well, because I'm Generation X, I didn't quite get the message that the baby boomers got of, just find a husband and stay home. It was like, you can be the next president, and oh, by the way, marry rich too.
Oh, okay.
So,
Wow.
and also because I'm Jewish, it's like you have to either become a doctor or a lawyer or marry one.
Uh-huh.
And because I didn't do either one of those,
Mhm.
I was kind of like forging my own path. And to talk about my dad, he was beyond an overachiever. He graduated from high school at 15, college at 18, medical school at age 20, and he had to wait a year before practicing medicine because you have to be 21 to get a medical license.
Oh,
So he was like a total workaholic, and he taught me that success is all about getting results, and it doesn't really matter how happy you feel. And I like Abraham Hicks,
mm.
and they say success is absolutely the amount of joy that you feel. And I told him that, when he was still alive, and he goes, that's one definition of success. So he still, really believed that success is like all about your results.
So for those of us who grew up a certain way, that transition of like, what is it? I'm not going to listen to that, or I have a new path, or this is my journey. What was your decision to say, if I don't marry rich, or if I don't marry a doctor or a lawyer, I'm still okay?
You know what? I just, like Mick Jagger says, marrying money is a full-time job. I don't need the aggravation. I'm a lazy slob, so hang five. So I just, believe me, I tried, and it just was too insincere. Like,
Mm.
whether the person has money or not, I want to have, romantic partners that I resonate with and that I connect with. And I couldn't do it. Like, I tried, and it just wasn't my authentic self. And I think because I have been on a spiritual path since I've been 19 years old, I'm really in touch with that still small voice that's telling me, yes, that works, or no, that's not you. So it wasn't me.
Now you've gone on to be successful in both happy and financial. And so what would it be like for some man to come around saying, you should, somebody saying you should marry her, she's rich?
That's such a funny question. Well, actually, there was a gender role reversal in my marriage. And I think that is a sign of the times where the woman is a breadwinner. And it didn't feel like a partnership to me. I don't want to be the breadwinner. I want a partnership. And I think that is the new paradigm that we're stepping into right now. And we're kind of like, on the dance floor, nobody knows which dance move to do because this is a totally new era
Right.
for women's empowerment. But I didn't want to be the breadwinner. So that was one of the, many reasons why I walked out of that marriage. And in the first page of the book, I say, literally the same week my divorce papers were signed and I was at my dad's funeral, and I'm sitting down, I'm writing this book, and I don't know why I'm happy, but it's because of my spiritual path. I've learned to rely on a higher power, God, source, love, whatever you want to call it. So I'm not so influenced by the circumstances of my life.
Interesting. I was having a conversation recently with a friend saying, when this happens, you're going to feel this. When this happens, you're going to feel that. And I said, no, I'm not. And this friend was saying, you don't know how you're going to feel when this happens. I said, I know because I've been working internally on all of these things. And this is what you're saying is that your dad could be dying and you could be in the middle of a divorce and you're happy.
Mm-hmm.
So this means that pretty much we could be happy throughout all of these things that we're normally taught we're going to suffer through.
Well, the only thing that we really have power over is that we get to choose our own thoughts. And that's what separates us from any other, animal on the planet, is humans get to choose their own thoughts. And I believe that your mind is like a radio station, and you can tune in to the ain't it awful, my life's falling apart,
Nice.
this is what's going wrong. And you can be the victim, or you can turn your radio dial, your thoughts to I'm grateful. This is what I have. And you can make it basic. Like I have running water. I have furniture. I have dishes in the cupboard. I have a car. I have a cell phone. And just build from there. I mean, there's just so much to be grateful for.
So happy is the new rich. That to me just sounds like what you just said encapsulates that.
Mm-hmm.
Because if somebody is rich financially and then they go through these traumas and they lose themselves in the trauma, then the rich didn't help them, the richness. They were poor in the spiritual side or the happiness side.
Right.
And so you're saying by kind of turning everything upside down from what a lot of us were raised with understanding, go for the money. It's like, get that job. That job offers more money, but it's away from my family, or, you know, it's not what I want to do. And normally we are told to take the job with the more money.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have children, but in a sense you are sharing your wisdom to people that are coming up in this new world. And you're leading the way with this book. What else would you like to say to all the children who are listening?
The millennials, you mean?
Yeah, well.
I like to say don't do anything out of fear, obligation, or guilt. Because you can come at the world through love-based thinking or fear-based thinking. And if you do things out of fear, obligation, or guilt, even if you do get that high-paying job, or even if you do marry that wealthy person, if your heart isn't in it, if you're not really feeling it on all areas, you know, spiritual, emotional, physical, you're going to be there, but you're going to be there as not your best self. And it's not going to be fun. So this book is about giving people more fun and freedom.
We've pretty much covered all the chapter. This is such a quick, fun read. Spirituality, fitness, emotional, romantic, mental, social, financial. What we haven't covered is what's in between all those chapters are affirmations.
Yay.
Can we talk about that?
So I love affirmations. And to me, your words are your advertisement to the boundaries of the universe. Whatever you say and speak is going to come back and reverberate. And it's so funny because especially in LA, we're so careful, like gluten, is that gluten-free? And is that like wildly raised and all this stuff?
Right.
And we're so careful with what we wear, and we're so careful with the car we drive, and we're so careful with all this outside stuff. But yet our words can just be soaked in negativity. So I am saying in the book that you want to choose your words even more carefully than you choose your clothes and your food and your car.
Nice.
Because that's going to end up manifesting in all areas. So at the end of each chapter, there's 3 affirmations. For example, the fitness chapter, the 3 affirmations are: I am experiencing radiant health. I have more than enough energy to exercise daily. I am able to get stronger and better every time I move my body. So whatever area you're focusing on that month, you can say those affirmations every single morning and every single night. And my friend is actually a group therapy counselor, and she has her clients, stand in front of the group therapy and say which area they'd like to work on that week. And they start off by reading those affirmations. So when they share to the group, that it's a positive share.
Now, I loved that. And I also like, besides liking affirmations, I like what you said about affirmations, and that we need to be careful with them because we can't just say them and not believe them.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about that.
Yeah. So if you say the affirmations, but you're saying it like, I'm experiencing radiant health. Oh, God. Like you're not
If
really, you're not going to get the result. So it's important to say the affirmations with positivity and actually believing the affirmations. And that's where faith comes in, because it's hard to say something if you haven't yet experienced it. But that's why spirituality is the first chapter, because without the faith that this can happen for you, then the rest of the book is not going to work. You have to have faith.
Wow. And I was wondering if you could read the affirmations for the social part. I really like those.
Oh, good. Well, great. Yeah. The social affirmations are, I am surrounded by people who love and support me. And we can talk about that, how being around the wrong people can really sabotage your financial success. I have fun and play with people who lift me up. I am able to spend time with people who are positive and abundant.
And I do, and I am, and I that's why I just resonated with that, because I'm like, yeah, that's life changes. That's our team here.
Who are they?
Yeah.
Who are these playful, lovely people?
Who they are, and we'll be talking to them when we come back after this, all on the Life Changes show right after this.
The Little Dog That Could is the fantastically true story of a man and a little dog that came into his life as his mentor to help him understand the world beyond his human senses and to experience life, love, and healing beyond his human understanding. Best-selling author Filippo Voltaggio, who currently hosts the highly regarded Life Changes show, is an internationally known singer, speaker, and life coach. Filippo offers up his own story, how one little surprise package in fur and 4 legs transformed his life unexpectedly forever and furthered his path of self-discovery. In The Little Dog That Could, Filippo brings to life the meaning of the adage, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. Through the reading of this book, you will experience the journey of real miracles that transcend time, space, and logic while gaining practical tools that will help you navigate your way. The Little Dog That Could is available through Amazon and Barnes & Noble. For more information, visit thelittledogthatcould.com. That's thelittledogthatcould.com. You are listening to the Life Changes show, recorded live from Studio NoHo. You can hear tonight's show and all our past shows, which include luminaries such as Mariel Hemingway, Shadow Stevens, Barbara Morrison, and Kyle Cease at our archive on our website at lifechangesshow.com. You can also follow us online via Twitter at Life Changes Show and Facebook at The Life Changes Show.
We're back. I'm Filippo, sitting here with Mark, and of course, our guest, Rebecca Whitman. And if you are enjoying the conversation as much as we are, you can learn more about Rebecca by going to RebeccaElizabethWhitman.com. Whitman is WHITMAN.com. Rebecca, we were talking about how surrounding ourselves with the right people help us with our financial goals, but also everything actually in the book.
It's so true, especially your romantic partner, because people actually get physical illness when they're in a negative, toxic relationship. And it's proven. So cancer, for example, is literally anger taken out on the body. Dis-ease is 2 words, dis-ease. You're not feeling ease in your body. You're not feeling ease with your romantic partner. And you could be doing all the affirmations and be in the right entrepreneurial opportunity and doing all your sales pitches. But if you come home and you have someone negging you out and saying you're never going to make it and where's the money and you should have been successful already, it's going to be really hard to hold your vibration high. And you can't really manifest money unless you have a high vibration.
Wow. How do people get to play with you?
Well, you can find me on Instagram at Rebecca E. Whitman, Twitter, Rebecca E. Whitman, Facebook, Rebecca Whitman, and you can have my email address, RebeccaElizabethWhitman@gmail.com. And we have a big event coming up January 18th in Boca Raton, Florida at the Zen Den Yoga School, where I'm going to be doing the 7 Steps to Success seminar, where if you're in the Florida area, if you want to take a wonderful trip to Boca, we're going to be breaking down each area of the book and showing you how you can manifest in 2019.
And do yoga at the same time?
And do yoga at the same time.
So I know you're also a public speaker, so people can engage you for their corporations and stuff like that, because you still do work in the business world, which I think is great. And I think is great too, because this is like the next... you're like the next self-help way of looking at things, where before, like when I first saw this, I thought, oh, this is one of those how to make money things. And yes, it is. It's just that it starts at a whole different level.
Yeah, I like this approach because there's a lot of metaphysical books that we all know, The Wonderful Secret and all those type of books. And there's a lot of, self-help books about sales and entrepreneurship. But this book combines the two worlds. It combines the metaphysical principles with classic sales and marketing principles.
And there are some people that on one side, they think they can only make money if they stay away from that woo-woo stuff. And then some of the people that are doing the quote unquote woo-woo stuff think that they can't make money. So this is bridging the gap, saying, no, we can shake hands and go on and live happily together.
That's right. And it can make everybody, the woo-woo people sometimes have a lot of poverty consciousness, and it can lift them out of that. And then the corporate six-figure people aren't having enough fun, so they need some more woo-woo fun principles in their life. So I think it's beneficial for everyone across the board.
And happy.
Yeah, happy is the new rich, which is the name of the show.
Well, thank you for inspiring that. It's in your book. The book, again, is How to Make a Six-Figure Income Working Part-Time by Rebecca Whitman. Again, RebeccaElizabethWhitman.com is the website, but of course you can get the book on Amazon and everywhere where books are sold. It's also available not only in book form, but if you want to hear her lovely voice, as you've heard it tonight, reading the book, it's also available as an audiobook. So thank you so much, Rebecca.
Thank you. It was so wonderful to be here. You guys are great.
Well, you made us happy.
I like that. It's been an honor to be here. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And with that, we have our Ask Dorothy segment with our executive producer, Dorothy Lee Donahue.
Hi, Dorothy. This is Janet, and my question for you is about my alcoholic friend, Jackie. We have been co-workers and developed a friendship over the 10 years we have worked together. We often would get together after work and have a glass of wine and talk about life. Well, the truth is, I had a glass of wine and she had many glasses. She has had an extremely difficult life, and she tells her story over and over again. And at first, I believed she was asking for advice and suggested she get help for her alcohol abuse. She ignored me, and now I know she just wants to tell her story, and it doesn't appear she's willing to change it. Recently, she was arrested for drunk driving, and her life story has gotten even worse than before. I haven't seen her in a while, as I am taking leave of absence from my job. However, we have continued talking on the phone, and now even after her arrest, she still gets drunk and calls me, and I just do not want to continue these kinds of conversations as they exhaust me. I feel guilty about not being there for her and just don't know what to do. I'm afraid for her and don't want anything bad to happen to her. What advice do you have for me in this situation?
Dear Janet, you don't ever have to feel guilty about removing toxic people from your life, no matter who they are. They could be a relative, a romantic interest, an employer, a childhood friend, or a coworker. We've been programmed to not want to hurt anyone's feelings, and we've been programmed to be responsible for another's happiness. I learned a long time ago that I'm the one responsible for my happiness. I'm totally responsible for everything in my life. I'm responsible for my ideas, my words, my actions, my thoughts, my behavior, and all of my choices. I'm not responsible for other people's ideas, words, actions, thoughts, behavior, and choices. These are their responsibilities, and I believe this is true for every one of us. It appears that Jackie is making quite a few less than elegant choices, and that is okay because it is her life and her choices. Janet, let's remember that you cannot change or control anyone other than yourself. So in this situation, you're being there for her is exhausting you and is not serving either one of you. My truth is that when we allow anyone to tell their stories over and over again from the place of being a victim, we are enabling them to stay stuck as our thoughts form deep grooves in our minds and become our truths. Once we change our thoughts, we can change our lives. Your job, Janet, is to be here for you. And since being with or listening to your friend exhausts you, it may be time to let her go. I suggest that you write her and ask her to find a life coach and get her life together and lovingly tell her that you simply aren't available for this kind of interaction any longer. This would be the most elegant choice for you, and it may trigger her to get the help she needs. And let's remember that guilt doesn't serve anyone.
Thank you, Dorothy. And if you have a question for Dorothy, please write her at askdorothy@lifechangeshow.com.
And we'll be back with our newly nominated Grammy singer Teresa James and the Rhythm Tramps on the Life Changes Show after this.
There are self-help seminars costing thousands of dollars guaranteeing miraculous transformations. There are compelling speakers and life-changing weekend experiences where you can walk on fire. They all deliver revelations that guarantee you'll come back for the more expensive revelations filled with even greater wonder next month on Fiji. We get addicted to positive, heartfelt, expensive theater. What we really need is a jumpstart, an awakening, someone who can give us a reminder that everything we need lies within. Through inspiration and practical knowledge, Dorothy Donahue helps people get grounded and motivated, inspired and energized. It's not just words and affirmations and the power of intention. It's a mindset brought about by a tangible, transcendental experience, an audio-visual, physical, spiritual experience that helps us realize we transform ourselves. We get tools to become the conscious co-creators of lives of unlimited potential. Find out more. Go to DorothyDonahue.com.
The Life Changes Show is a premier radio show presented by the Life Changes Network, which is a company whose team has dedicated their lives not only to positive change, but to helping others observe and embrace, honor, and even celebrate their own changes, thus enabling a more positive, inspired life and helping to create a more positive and inspired world. From everyday people, celebrities, corporate giants, and children, we are here to help and to serve. With heart, integrity, and experience, we bring our message and positive intent into your lives through the Life Changes Show, lifechangesnetwork.com, and through guest appearances on other inspiring shows and events. If you wish to learn more about Life Changes Life Coaching, a private consultation with one of us, corporate or live event appearances, or if you would like us to appear on your radio or TV shows, please email us at info@lifechangesnetwork.com.
We're back. I'm Filippo, sitting here with Mark and, of course, our guest, Rebecca Whitman. And joining us in the studio, this is so exciting. It truly is, because on Friday, well, we booked Teresa James and the Rhythm Tramps months ago, and then for today, and then just this past Friday, she was nominated. She and the Rhythm Tramps. The album was nominated for Best Album of the Year in a category. Well, let's let them say it. But here she is, Teresa James and the Rhythm Tramps. Welcome and congratulations!
Thanks for having us.
Yes, thank you. We're so excited to be here.
This is exciting, and this is the very first radio show you've done since you've been nominated.
Yes.
And it also is the first time that you're all playing together, right? Since you've been nominated.
Yeah, I hadn't seen these guys.
I hadn't thought of it that way. Now I'm really nervous.
Well, that's Terry Wilson that we're hearing, and he wrote most of the songs on the nominated album. So we're going to get to talk to him in just a moment too. But Teresa, so tell us, since I've never experienced this, what was that like Friday morning?
It was very surreal. Well, this is our 10th CD. So
I was about to say, you're an overnight success, aren't you?
Right, exactly. It's our 10th CD, and we've submitted a lot of the previous CDs for consideration, and with never really an expectation of winning, a nomination, just because we're we're a mom and pop kind of organization over here. So when I got a text at 6:30 in the morning on Friday, I thought, okay, this can't be good. This is way too early. And it was a friend of ours saying, congratulations. And I kind of woke up a little bit and wrote back, for what? Thinking, oh, it must be for some, who knows? I said, your Grammy nomination. And I just sat up in bed and just, Terry, wake up. This is amazing, So it was it's still kind of hard for me to wrap my head around it, because it's just been such a long time coming.
Wow. And actually, Terry, you actually said what's going on when she woke you up.
Yeah, because you immediately, oh no, what is our son in jail?
No, I don't immediately,
Sorry, Jesse. Good one.
And then
And he said, "That's great." And then he turned over and went back to sleep. Well, it's like, I'll be excited when I wake up. I get that.
I'm not an award show guy. We've never been invited to one, so maybe that's why.
Okay.
So I don't know how to act in this situation.
Well, you know what? You're acting just fine. You're being you, and actually, but you said before you fell asleep, you kind of shook a little bit, going, "Wow."
You can't help but vibrate a bit, and you try to be cool about it. Like, I really want to go back to sleep. This is great.
You know what's interesting to me too is we joke about the overnight sensation thing, and we also know that here you've all been doing this for decades,
Yeah.
and if this had happened to you decades ago, Terry, I asked you that, and you had an interesting answer. I think you could say that on the air. What would have happened, do you think, if you would have gotten a Grammy years and years and years ago?
Been more partying,
Mhm.
more recreational activities going on.
Yeah, that's not what you said, but
That's not exactly what.
not exactly. But we get the hint.
It is sweeter though, having waited for it. Because as a musician, you can't help your whole career. You keep thinking, man, one of these days it's going to be, you plan your little speech and it's just like, this is going to be so great, and then
Mhm.
as the years go by, and then you realize, really that it is really amazing to be honored in this way and to be
Mhm.
recognized after all, especially after all this hard work. But also at one point in your career, you realize that, well, that's not why you're doing it. You're doing this because it's what you do and who you are and how you can't do anything else. So you have to do it. It's your life blood, and so
It's what makes you happy.
exactly.
So
Exactly. You know what? When I was my mom was going through some stuff years ago, and she found one of those, I don't know, you probably don't remember, but they used to have big chief tablets where you practice your handwriting, where it's really big things. And it was one of me, an obviously childish handwriting saying, "I love to sing. When I sing, I'm happy." And this was like me at like 6 years old, so how great is this that I
And-
get to do that for a living, and now it's coming
We
full
get to
circle.
play.
and you had to get to that for yourself.
Absolutely.
Because if all of the awards and recognitions would have come early on, then you would have maybe done it for the next award or for the next recognition, and maybe lost your own happiness or self in it.
That's true. I truly believe that there are some things you should do just because you want to, because you love doing it. When you start doing it, when you start doing it for the money, when you start getting paid, the temptation is to start doing it for the money and not thinking about, but just like what you were talking about, the fun part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You come to that realization a long time ago. It's like, yeah, this guy's a great player, but I don't like being around him, so he's not going to be in my band. I don't want to play.
Yeah.
What happens after we win? And then
There you go.
and that's the voice of Herman Matthews, who's on drums. Actually, it's funny because we also might as well mention we got Billy Watts on guitar, and Terry Wilson's going to be playing bass. But all of y'all, because you're all from Texas, I think most of you, right?
he's from North Texas.
North Texas, like that's
He's,
wow.
no, he's from
Canada.
Canada.
Okay, Canada. All right, so but you all have worked with so many other bands and singers that also who've been nominated, who've won, but you've worked all over the world. And the interesting thing too to me is, before we go into a song, Teresa, you and Terry obviously have kids, and one of them happily is not in jail.
I hope he's not
As a matter of fact,
listening.
doing
I
really well.
So-
But you all made a decision in life with your music and regarding your kids. And what was that?
Well, we had been together for a while, a long time, and then when our daughter was born, we had to make a decision whether to be totally focused on our career, and in order to do that, especially in playing roots music, you have to tour, and you have to tour a lot. That's how you build your audience, because the radio, especially at that time, did not support this kind of music, but we made a conscious decision that we wouldn't go out and be gone from our daughter, and consequently our children, So Terry went to work in the studio and just continued to write songs and work with other artists and do some touring because, the real money is where the songwriting. So it's like, and I went out and started doing gigs with other people and was very fortunate to get a lot of studio work around town doing, TV and movie stuff. So that was great. But it was, we raised our kids and we continued to have the band. We continued to make records. We continued to do everything that we did just without making that our number one focus. Our family came first and our kids are great. Our son is an amazing musician.
I was 38 years old when we had our first child. So by then I got most of the partying out of the way. And when Teresa was pregnant, it was like, okay, we're doing this, aren't we? Right? And then when you see the child, then everything changes.
Well,
so it didn't seem like a sacrifice.
Oh, it didn't seem like a sacrifice at all. It was really
nice
because we were still doing what we love to do.
Nice.
We just weren't, doing it on the road or.
Nice. Wow. Well, we're gonna get to hear the first live version of a song that's on the Grammy-nominated record. The record is called "Here in Babylon," and the first song we're gonna hear is
"Drifted Away." We're doing "Drifting Away."
No, are we?
Yeah,
are we doing? Okay. So, "Drifting Away" actually was written by your partners,
Greg Sutton and Bill Livesey.
And
they're good friends of ours. We've worked with Greg before, and I've written a lot of songs with Greg. And when he sent me the song, he said, check this out for Teresa. And it was about 2:30 in the morning when we sat down and listened to it. And I think tequila was involved. And it was like, yeah, this is a great tune. So
it's just, we've done, well, like I said, we've done 10 CDs. And they're almost, most of them are our songs, Terry's songs. And but when you hear it, there's certain songs that when I hear them, I'm just like, yeah, I got to sing this song.
Yeah. And we're going to get to hear it right now. Here is "Drifting Away" from the Grammy-nominated album "Here in Babylon." Teresa James and the Rhythm Tramps live on the Life Changes show here at Studio NoHo.
I had plans to go where I wanted to go, be where I wanted to be. In my home, New Orleans, a bad romance. Yeah, that's what did me this way. Now I'm standing in the shadows, waiting on the gallows. Remembering a beautiful day, I keep drifting away to a place where you and I are so deep in love. I can still hear you whisper my name. I keep drifting away to a time when every night was a beautiful day. I keep drifting away. Yeah, now you gotta understand, I just don't wanna be misunderstood. I tried turning bad into good. I honestly thought I could. Yeah, and I had plans, but now all I had is just gone. I wake up at the crack of the dawn, wonder how long can this go on. I keep drifting away to a place where you and I are so deep in love.
so deep in love.
Yeah, I can still hear you whisper my name. I keep drifting away to a time when every night was a beautiful day. I keep drifting away, drifting like a stone, don't know where to go, where to stay, and my heart alone knows the way. Help me find a way. I keep drifting, oh, I keep drifting away to a time where you and I were so deep in love.
So deep in love.
I can still hear you whisper my name. Keep drifting away to a time when every night was a beautiful day. I keep drifting away. Yeah, I keep drifting. Ooh. Yeah. I had planned
Wow. Wanted to just let that go. Just your voice and thank you so much, Teresa James and the Rhythm Tramps. If you want to learn more about them, which I think you're going to be hearing a lot more of them actually, and that's very exciting. It's already being played on. It already was being played, as so have a lot of your songs. But you can go to teresajames.com. teresajames.com. It's spelled just like it sounds. Well, we have Armando Compion to thank for introducing us. Armando, we love Armando.
Houston guy. We all go so far.
Another Houston guy. Yeah, you Houston people. You know, you have a great story. You not only have shared everything that you've shared, but one thing that you haven't shared is this big record deal that got you this Grammy nomination.
Exactly.
Tell us about it.
It's a mom and pop situation. We run our own record company.
I know I do promotion, merchandising, and Terry does the production. It's like I'm the shipping department. You know, it's like
I've
it's a
been
miracle,
part of
man.
big record deals, and unless the label's really behind you, it's easy to get left on the shelf.
Mhm.
In a lot of cases, and then you're stuck for years, and the air goes out of the balloon with us, and having Billy and Herman. It's a family unit, and if it messes up, it messes up. It's our deal, you know. So
No wonder you went back to sleep. You're like, oh boy, I'm gonna have to ship a lot more.
Yes.
Exactly. Well, it is hard because you have to think of everything, you know. But it's basically, you know, we wanted to make records. We've had a couple that were picked up by labels, you know, but it's, you know, label. It's just, you know, it seems like in the business they want you to be wildly successful before they will say, sure, we'll bring you along with us then. You know what I mean? It's like getting a booking agent. You have to already be working 200 dates a year, and then they'll say, sure, we'll help you do that. And you're like, well, okay.
If you go to lifechangesnetwork.com and read the page that we've set up for Teresa James and the Rhythm Tramps, you'll see so many quotes from so many prestigious magazines and people that are in the music field, including like really hard to get 4-star reviews in Downbeat magazine and all kinds of stuff. And then there's this short list of the people that they've worked with, but the names in there: Smokey Robinson, Tom Jones, Tower of Power. I mean, what is in this room is just amazing, and the most amazing thing is really your hearts. I mean, when you all just walked into it was just like you could tell that you were a family, and it was like family meeting family. It's like, hey, we're here. Let's do a great thing together. and that was, even from the drummer, even a drummer.
Oh, you're darling.
Oh, so many jokes about drummers, and we don't have enough time. But but I'd love to be able to talk to each one of you, because that's, I know you're all special to the project. The project is here in Babylon, and the group is Teresa James and the Rhythm Tramps. And I know why, but can you tell with people why y'all are called the Tramps?
I was living in London at the time, and I was playing with kind of a big British rock band, and we'd come off the road and we would want to play Texas blues. So we started booking gigs, and we needed a name for the band, and that the name Rhythm Tramps kind of signifies
People coming and going.
mutts, tramps, getting together to have fun and play your roots.
Nice.
And that's what we did. And there was a lot of great singers at the time that would come out and play with us, like Frankie Miller. I'm not sure if you.
Yeah. Actually, you on your website you list
We
all
list
the
everybody
people.
that's been in our band.
That's
played
so
in We've had this
great.
band together now since Terry and I started playing together
Since
in
around
1982. Well, that was, you were
75,
in London
Yeah.
then. And that was the original Rhythm Tramps. And then when we started playing, and we had Tony Bronigal, who was another original Rhythm Tramp,
Yeah.
who was with us for a long time. And we was, another Houston guy. There's it's all Texans around here. But yeah, so it's since about 1985, 1984, Terry and I have been doing this. And so we thought, this is kind of sad. At some point, when I couldn't go to sleep, I would go through all the guys that have played in our band. I'd be like, drummers, okay, Herman, Tony, Jim, and stuff. And then I get
You don't need no sheep.
through the drummers, and then I'd go to the guitar
Oh, the drummers put you to
players.
sleep, huh?
Well,
Is that
there's more drummers than anybody, probably. Once
No.
we got Billy, we kind of we only have a few fill-in guys here and there when he's on the road with somebody else.
No, actually, I know that this next song is called. I'd like to say it, and then I'd like to hear it how you say it in your language. But
What?
What?
I know I ain't perfect. No, I know. Oh, you say it.
I know I ain't been so perfect.
Okay. All right. So I know you wrote this song. Are you at liberty to say what was the inspiration? He just made a
we got a
face like,
grimace.
he did not just ask me that question on live radio.
Well, it wasn't Teresa.
Okay,
It wasn't
all right.
my wife that made it feel this way. It was just working relationship that has gotten kind of different.
Okay.
And I just called them out on it through this song. So
Well, we're going to hear it here live on the Life Changes Show. Here's Teresa James and the Rhythm Tramps performing I Know I Ain't Been So Perfect from the... What, did I do it right? Oh, okay. From the Here in Babylon, newly nominated Grammy Here in Babylon. Here they are live on the Life Changes Show here at Studio No.
Why'd you have to go talking like that? You and me go a long way back. Sticks and stone can hurt, but words can too. Yeah, the bridge didn't burn. Was that what you were trying to do? Didn't have to go and cross that line. I know times have been tough, but we've both been trying. You pick your battles, it begins your ground. Yeah, but I just don't understand why you're bringing me down. I know I ain't been so perfect. I never said I batted 1,000. Didn't think I'd wanna have to climb that mountain. Just wanted to give respect, not be the point of your neglect. Never thought I'd have to drink from that fountain. me, we both reached the point we got caught in the act. We were standing our ground, neither one of us was giving up slack. Yeah, I was waiting on you, give it up back to the way it was. But then a whole high power has come around saying give it up.
Give it up.
I know I ain't been so perfect, never said I batted 1,000. Didn't think I wanna have to climb that mountain. I just wanted to give respect, not be the point of your neglect. Never thought I'd have to drink from that fountain. Too proud to give it up. No clouds cover it up. No vows said out loud. Just the two of us playing to the crowd. I know I ain't been so perfect, never said I'm bad in 1,000. Didn't think I wanna have to climb that mountain. Just wanted to give respect, not be the point of your neglect. Never thought I'd have to drink from that fountain. I know I ain't been so perfect, I never said I'm bad in 1,000. Didn't think I wanna have to climb that mountain. Just wanted to give respect, not be the point of your neglect. Never thought I'd have to drink from that fountain. No, no, no.
Teresa, James, and the Rhythm Tramps live here on the Life Changes show. Teresa, by the way, was also playing keys. So Teresa James was on keys. On bass, we had, of course, you heard him. He wrote most of the songs on the album, Terry Wilson, and then Billy Watts on guitar and Herman Matthews on drums. I know I've seen you before. I might have even worked with you. But there will be another time. He's worked with so many. He's like, dude, if you turn on the TV, you probably saw me working with somebody. Of course, you know me. He didn't say that, but he could have. I'm trying to think. Did I ever see Tom Jones live? Because you're with him. Anyway, so you guys, this made me so happy. Between you all and Rebecca, I feel rich. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
what a
much.
pleasure.
This was really fun to have a chance to share our new excitement. You know, it was fun to be here and not just be home going.
How long do you have to wait? How long do you have to wait?
Was it February 10th?
February 10th.
Yeah.
Is the when it goes, right?
Wow.
Oh, until they win? Is that
Until
they win,
exactly. Well,
But we're already celebrating them.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, and you're in great company, Boss Skaggs. I mean, just what?
No, nothing.
Oh, okay, and that's our show.
It is kind of, we have a little history with Boss, so it's kind of ironic that we're up against him for the Grammys. So it's exciting, though.
Exciting. Okay. All right. I think we have to end that now. So with that, thank you so much again, Teresa James and the Rhythm Tramps. The best of luck to you in everything.
Thank you so
Ditto.
much.
And Rebecca Whitman, thank you so much and sharing in the way that you did. Looking forward to more.
Yay, for sure.
And that is our show. Let's thank Brent Hahn here at Studio NoHo for making us all sound so good. Thank you, Brent.
Yay, thank you.
And on behalf of our executive producer, Dorothy Lee Donahue, and our producer, Mark Lejeune, I am your host, Filippo Voltaggio, reminding you that as your life changes, like ours surely did tonight, we're here for you. Ciao, everyone.
You have been listening to the Life Changes Show. Listen live every Monday night at 7 p.m. Pacific Time and visit us online at lifechangesnetwork.com, on Facebook at The Life Changes Show, and on Twitter at Life Changes Show. Join us again next week as we consciously explore and embrace the only constant, life changes. The Life Changes Network is an entertainment network. The views and opinions expressed are those of the guests and participants and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of Life Changes.
No.
Not quite. Now.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.